Can you hear me? I'm sorry I'm a little bit sick. Every time I visit India, I always get sick. I don't know why. So thank you very much for your fine introduction. And thank you very much, Dr. Kazi, for your leadership. And the most important of all, I admire and appreciate his leadership because he has dedicated his life to make education affordable and accessible to all of you. I'm one of you. So before I give my speech, I'd like you to tell you a little bit about my book. I hope you will have an opportunity to buy this book from Amazon or Kindle. So that's a sales pitch. I also want to recognize some of the people who traveled with me from the United States. My brother, Dr. Islam, who lives in Corpus Christi, Texas. My nephew, Afzal Islam, who's taking a nice video pictures. And my nephew, Shadid Afshar, who also traveled with me from Dallas, Texas. And Reshma, thank you very much for coming. And thank you for inviting me to speak here today. So distinguished guests, Dr. Kazi, friends, students, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, I want to express my deep appreciation for your warm welcome. My special thanks to Reshma. Please give Reshma a round of applause. She happens to be my niece also. I'm humbled and honored to be here at Saboo Siddiq College Engineering to share my life journey and experiential lessons that I have learned in the journey along life's highway. It is my distinct pleasure to be here with you students because, like you, I am a Muslim and I was born in India. So I feel a common bond and a personal connection as we are linked by shared history, shared heritage, and shared background and shared belief. Let me take it one step further. As I look around, I see me in you. I see the future of India, and I see the future of the world. I hope the story of my journey and my thoughts will be some relevance to your journey. I share them not because I expect you to imitate my path or adopt my perspective, but because I hope they will be useful as a touchstones and frames of reference as you define what will matter for you and chart your own course for the future. So I will make my presentation in 3 parts and conclude the request of you as students. And the 3 parts are lessons from India, lessons from America, and lessons from life. So let me begin with part 1, lessons from India. As I said, I'm a Muslim. I grew up in a religious family, lived in Azamgarh and Varanasi, and attended Aligarh Muslim University. All of those courses had a tremendous impact on me during my formative years. They shaped my character and my destiny and influenced the person who I am today. And let me tell you how. Being a Muslim has taught me many things, but the most important is that the whole purpose of religion is to provide justice and a path to justice for all of us. That includes the animals and the nature itself. According to the Holy Quran, God asked, and I quote, "Who will take care of all of my creation?" The mountain said the task was too great. Even the angels declined to take on the challenge. But then man jumped up and said, "We will take care." So we make a contact with God to protect His creation. I have learned as a Muslim to believe in the unity of all creation and that everything and everyone is an reflection of God on earth. Because of that, I have also learned these are just people, and the just people do just things. I treasure our faith, my faith. My faith firmly believes in equality, dignity, concern, compassion, respect, tolerance, justice, and peace for other faiths. My faith keeps me calm and provides me with a sense of optimism that gives me peace. With my personal peace, I can work with others of different faith for peace. So growing up in India had an enormous impact on the person I am today. It is here that I learned lessons from my family, this country, my home city of Azamgarh, and Aligarh Muslim University. I grew up in a middle-class family. I cherish, nourish, and nurture my family's finest tradition, that is sharing and giving, and be compassionate and concerned. My parents taught me to treat people in the way that you want to be treated. Give dignity and respect to others. Work hard and aim high, and pursue your dream. Do what you can to serve your community. In the neighborhood where I grew up, all of us from different faiths and different backgrounds learned to work side by side because we are bound together in the service of others. I love India. I love this country because I was born here, and because of its art, its history, its culture, its music, and most of all, its rituals. But most of all, I also love India because it stands as an international beacon of democracy, diversity, and peacemaking. I treasure the city of Azamgarh, my hometown. No matter where I am, the memory of Azamgarh still lingers in my mind. It is a beautiful city and tolerant one. It is here that I learned about the richness of different religions and respect for other religions. Last but not least, of course, Aligarh Muslim University. My days at AMU have had a profound effect on me. Aligarh provided me with the basic building blocks to become a successful entrepreneur, to assume fierce responsibilities, and most importantly, to become a passionate leader. Aligarh provided me with excellent education. More importantly, it instilled basic values that have served me in good stead throughout my adult life, and they are the love of education, eternal optimism about your hopes and dreams, being collegial and candid towards all, keeping steadfast to your standard of excellence, living in peace and harmony by being tolerant and respectful towards the dignity of each person. I hope each and every one of you share these values that Aligarh has imprinted on me. You need to do your part to extend these values and support and invest in the education for the next generation. By investing in the education of the next generation, you will keep the hope alive. My fondest hope and expectation is the future there will be a person whom you have made the investment, who will make similar investment in others. When that happens, it will make your investment sustainable and ongoing source for renewing their dreams and aspirations. So let me turn to part 2 of my story, Lessons from America. I went to the United States from India when I was very young to pursue the American dream. I crossed the Atlantic Ocean to pursue the American dream. At that young age, I wasn't quite sure how would I achieve that dream. But I knew even then that being a business owner would be part of it. I also knew that with me being apart from my family, developing my own career track with little parental or professional guidance. This was a daunting challenge, but it was also an opportunity. That's the way I saw it, an opportunity to find myself in America, in the land of opportunity. The process of defining myself in America had 5 stages. Getting a good education, taking a risk, becoming an entrepreneur, building a strong and talented management team who share my vision and my values. And moving on to other things. I graduated from the University of Colorado in Boulder. If you've never been to Boulder, it is one of the most beautiful places on the earth. Indeed, it is breathtaking. So that gave me the knowledge I needed to go into the business. I always wanted to start my own business, but I knew that I needed the experience first. So I worked with the 2 major information technology companies in Washington, D.C. area for a number of years. That gave me the skills and the real-world grounding that I needed to be a business owner. Through hard work and initiatives, within 13 years, I was able to build an information technology company from 1 employee to several thousand employees, from a revenue of $1 to $300 million per year. Let me tell you, starting a business is about taking risks. It's about being focused, about being passionate, and being committed. It is about getting out of the comfort zone and venturing into the new horizons and experimenting new environments. So the team of talented managers was central to everything. So success has taught me how to move forward, but failure taught me to never look backward. Remember, success in business is a team sport. So when you ask me how I became successful, it was not me, but we who made it happen. Finally, I sold my company to Parole Systems in 2007. That sale allowed me to establish a private foundation that supports educational, culture, and artistic causes in the United States and all around the world. The sale also gave me time to reflect and work with important takeaways and advice that I could give to others as I contemplate how to structure and take their own journey. It is my sincere hope that you find inspirations in my story so that you can achieve greater success in your life. So that brings me to part 3 of my presentation of what I call lessons from life. I have to say that I'm not a big fan for giving advice, and I'm somewhat uncomfortable in doing so, as those of you in this audience can understand it is kind of contrary to my upbringing. Nonetheless, let me share some thoughts that I have seen and heard, 11 them with insight of my own. My advice and lessons from life are: stay true to you. Be something special, someone in particular. Be a lifelong learner. Never give up. Create your own legacy. So stay true to you. Stephen Jobs, who was the founder of the Apple computer before he died, he addressed the Stanford University commencement address, and he said, and I quote, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Be something special to someone in particular." I think it was Ted David from Harvard University who said that know who your targeted customers are, develop your product and service to delight them, exceed their expectations. Don't be satisfied with being a meme or doing something just good enough. Be a lifelong learner. Study hard, but remember, the life lessons are taught inside and outside the classroom, and they're never ending. So commit to learning at least one new thing every day. Use the new things you learn to continue to reinvent yourself. Never give in. Winston Churchill said that school was at the Harrow School in 1941, near the beginning of World War II. Never give in, never give in, never give in, never give in, except conviction of honor and good sense. That was a good advice more than 70 years ago. It is a good advice today. Create your own legacy. Realize that whether wittingly or unwittingly, we are writing this narrative of our lives in the way we conduct ourselves both personally and professionally. Professor Clayton Christensen from Harvard put it this way, and I quote, "Think about the metrics by which your life will be judged and make a resolution to live every day so that in the end your life will be judged as a success." So those are three parts of my presentation: lessons from life, lessons from India, lessons from America, and lessons from life. Now it is the time for my request to you, students, which is also happens to be in three parts. And that request is, do not think anything is impossible. Make it your own journey. Do well, but also do good. Do not think anything impossible. If you have asked me more than 40 years ago when I left this country, coming from a middle-class Muslim family, could I achieve and accomplish what I have, I probably would have said no. I was not certain about where I would end up when I went from India to the United States, but I knew absolutely that working hard, aiming high, and getting the right education was the key to success. I'm confident that the same will be true for you no matter who you are and where your family are currently on the economic ladder. The greatest gift you can give is the gift of education. You should develop a culture that reinforces the values and importance of education. Education helps to create higher aspirations. Education provides a ladder of economic mobility. Education is the tool that can transform one's destiny. As President Obama said, education and innovation will be the currency of the 21st century. It is the education that frees the human mind from the shackles of ignorance. Lack of education is the breeding ground for failure and despair and violence. A quality education has been the great equalizer, opportunity creator, and liberator for Indian citizens of all religions and for Indians at the bottom rungs of the ladder. For those on the other rungs of the ladder, a quality education helps to create the creativity, compassion, and commitment to make the economic ladder stronger, to put more rungs on it, and to enable more people to make their way up it. That is why I ask each and every one of you, do not think anything is impossible. You need to make impossible as possible. You need to make irrelevant as relevant. You need to make unacceptable as acceptable. There are numerous stories in India and of the success of the Muslims, graduates amongst me from your institution, Saboo, Siddiq, and my alma mater, Aligarh Muslim University. There are numerous success stories in the United States as well. So make it your own journey. Even though I have shared information about my journey with you, you will succeed by making it your own journey. Frank Islam's journey was Frank Islam's journey, just as Bill Gates was Bill Gates, Stephen Jobs was Stephen Jobs. And the journey of Satya Nadella, the new chief of Microsoft, who was born in India, who graduated in engineering at Manipal University, is his journey. Nadala's success is a testimony to the fact that anything is possible if you make it your own journey. He's an example of entrepreneurship and innovativeness. His story tells us the future belongs to those who can envision it, who can create it, not to those who can define themselves by limits rather than potentials and possibilities and promises. His story will encourage you to excel in your chosen fields. His story also shows the inclusiveness and openness of America. And all of us in this country should proudly and truly embrace these qualities and values of America, that is inclusiveness and openness. Do well, but also do good. In making it your own journey, I'm encouraging you to succeed, but do not forget those who have been less successful. I encourage you to embrace the compelling vision of Saboo Siddiq College of Engineering, which is to bring out the whole Muslim community from a quagmire of poverty and educational backwardness and encourage, enlighten, and prepare all its members to be useful citizens who will contribute to make a prosperous, healthy, and strong nation, and to promote national integration by giving equal opportunity to all communities for their promotions and progress. Let me share some bright lights and statistics on Muslims. The statistics on Muslims in poverty without education in India are stunning. They seek dark and desperate and hopeless horror. They share a city, but not a community. They share a common dwelling, but not in a common effort. There's a reservoir of deep anger and frustration among the Indian Muslim youth who confront hostility and open prejudice because of who they are and their lack of education. The sparks of frustrations and desperations are burning in Indian Muslim youth. The situation for many Muslims, especially youth, are heartbreaking. So please join me in this journey so that we can together break the barrier of the biases and the boundary and the bigotry, the laws that unite us, the little that divide us. Our bonds are stronger than the differences that drive us apart. It is the lack of education and poverty that brings violence. It is the lack of education and poverty that fuels frustrations and desperation. I ask each and every one of you, when you are successful, do not forget your heritage and your roots. Look back and extend a hand and heart to your Muslim brothers and sisters who need your assistance. Make a commitment to making things better for them. You should be guided and reminded by the phrase, as John F. Kennedy said, to whom much is given, much is expected. You should dedicate yourself upon the values, decency, dignity, and the spirit that will always define the greatness of this college. Your bonds are stronger than the differences that drive you apart. All of you should weave into the fabric of our society a sense of hope, a sense of optimism, and a sense of positive energy, a sense that all of us in this are together. All of you have a role and responsibility to shape your own fate and future. Remember, as long as you believe in yourself, the future will always be yours. Future is not an accident, but it is built on planning. Future is promised to those who create it, not to those who live in the past. As Thomas Jefferson once said, past is a history, not a destiny. I want you to be the best you can be and express your fullest potential. You should define and shape and determine your own destiny. I firmly believe no hope for you should be high enough, no dream should be too far out of reach to achieve and attain. You should commit yourself to renewed determination, your courage, your strength, and your hope, your aspirations and dreams. All of you will do well to remember no nation, no race, no religion, no culture has a monopoly on wisdom, has the monopoly on values of freedom, justice, and human dignity. You should commit yourself to working together and learning from one another and listening to each other. You should commit yourself to set aside your differences, to work for shared goals with a shared responsibility and shared sacrifices. I know that all of you are strong, vibrant, responsible, and resilient. Therefore, I'm confident that if all of you work together to provide opportunities, I can say your best days are ahead of you, not behind you. If you come together, you will endure and thrive. In closing, let me return to my opening comment where I said, I see me in you. I see the future of India. I see the future of the world. I see those things because I know there are other like me in this college. I know there are those among you who will be central to bringing India and the Muslim community to better heights. I know there are those among you who work with others from many nations and denominations around the globe to make the world a better place. Let me leave you with a quotation from Sayyid Ahmad Khan, the founder of Aligarh Muslim University. His thought is very much applicable to your college. Near the end of his life, he said, and I quote, "You have reached a particular stage and remember one thing. When I undertook the task, there were criticism all around against me. Life has become so difficult for me that I aged before my age. I lost my hair, my eyesight, but never my vision. My vision never dimmed, my determination never failed. I built this institution for you, and I'm sure you'll carry the light of this institution far and wide. Darkness will disappear from around the world." End of the quotation of Sayyid Ahmad Khan. There is still much darkness all around, and that is why we gather here to acknowledge and fulfill Sayyid's and your founder, Haji Saboo Siddiq's value, vision, and the voice. These men were visionaries who saw the world not through religious binders, but through an expansive way of our strong and inclusive faith can unite rather than divide us. You should carry the torch handed to you by your founder. You should work together to ensure his dreams shall never die and his cause will endure. So as John F. Kennedy's brother, Senator Edward Kennedy, who I met, said, and I will quote, he said, "I will never forget this time. I will cherish my memories when I look back at the time we spent together, the malls we have traveled together. I will always think of you." Thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts. It has been inspiring and reaffirming to me to see the future firsthand. And God bless you. If you want a copy of my speech, you can go to my webpage, frankislam.com. I hope some of you have gone to my webpage. How many of you have gone to my webpage? Oh, okay. So you will have a copy of my speech. And thank you very, very much. And God bless you.